Pressure on the rest of these teams to just get to?
Yes, it really is.
Unless you're deep in the field.
Here come a large pack of front runners. Trouble off the corner.
31.
Several cars involved. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sterling Marlin, Mike Skinner. Jeff Gordon's in it. Bobby Hamilton. Kurt Busch is in the crash. Dale Jarrett takes to the pit road. Terry Labonte's involved. Caution's out.
All right, here they're coming off the corner. And I think there's going to be contact right there. Skinner and Kurt Busch get together. Turn Skinner into the wall head on. Labonte has no place to go. Neither does Bobby Hamilton when Skinner comes back across the racetrack. Now there's no place for anybody to go.
Who was that just snuck by? Nemechek.
Jeff Gordon in 32nd place. One lap.
Whoa, there you go. There you go. This is it, guys.
Jarrett, Nemechek, Jeff Burton, Mike Skinner.
It's
One
over.
car hard up into the wall, joined by another.
And they just keep wrecking.
And the hits keep on coming.
And the big hit was Joe Nemechek. Brett Bodine on fire.
This starts by somebody getting crowded down on the apron here. Oh, Dale Jarrett. Dale Jarrett goes
Gets
down
bumped.
in front of the 21 car, wasn't that? Oh, no,
Jeff
that was the
Burton.
99 car. Oh, man, you're right, Mike. Nemechek took a hard lick. Then the 4 car.
Saw the lick that Brett Bodine and Levin took there in front of Joe Nemechek.
Steve Park.
Look at Blaney in the 77 all the way down on the apron, along with Jimmy Johnson in the 48 as well.
Nemechek gets hit once and then straight up and into the wall.
Trouble off turn 2. Is this the big wreck?
There it is.
Robbie Gordon, Steve Park.
See Ricky Craven. With the singular car, Robbie Gordon. Listen once.
Clear low, clear low, clear low, inside out. Left and right here.
Yes, he did. I saw Jeff Gordon's hand out the window down the backstretch. I don't know if he was saying, oh, trouble!
Gordon in the wall. Several cars involved.
Earnhardt Jr. gets banged up.
I'm not sure somebody was trying to step down and get pit lane. Casey Mears. Labonte. Schrader's in the grass. Several cars down pit road. I think somebody was trying to come to the pits, BP, and he did not tell the guys behind him he was coming, and then jammed it up.
And let's listen, see if we hear any contact.
Yeah, got some probably contact on the right front, maybe knocked the toe out.
Inside, coming inside. All right, man, I want to blow a tire here.
Oh, trouble! Here we go. Harvick is around. In the grass. Caution is out.
That's Carl Edwards up against the outside wall.
Yep. They almost make contact again. Sadler down through the grass.
Oh, more cars spinning down in turn 1.
That Wimmer. There's Wimmer. Number of guys went down pit road.
Well, the 29 car is going to be in the crash. This guy is going to be in the... All right, roll it.
Came down on Carl Edwards in the 99. And that Kevin Harvick was right in the middle of it. And there's Busch going through the grass.
And there's a 22 car on the inside of Jeff Gordon. Oh, and Mike Wallace just squeezes by.
Was that Mike Wallace or was that Mayfield?
No, I thought it was Mike. Could have been Mayfield.
Hey, guys. Here we go. Turn to 48.
That's Jimmy Johnson.
This
Ruderman got
this
one.
is bad right here. They're going back up the racetrack.
Yaley is down there. Look out.
Nice job.
Nice job by JJ right there. Nice job by that whole group, right? Wow. Because the 48 just got turned straight back up. And this is what this was in the worst place because you see the cars go up the racetrack and then back down the racetrack.
You see the Army car up there, and they start wiggling back there, and Blaney just turns left because they start checking up. Oh, man, there's middle of a pack right there. And then the 44 Rudiman gets turned. It just, you know, then once it starts happening, you're just along for the ride practically.
Does Terry have it on board?
I don't know, but he's probably questioning why he's in that car right now. That was really pretty amazing. Terry just held his line, and it's been amazing how these guys have just held their lines tonight. You see,
just like last year, but
wow, they just covered up.
Last lap at Daytona.
Oh, we got it, guys.
that's it.
Oh, man. Oh,
yeah, it's not.
Keep rolling here.
Oh, there it is.
Now they're
my
wrecking.
goodness. That's incredible.
Now the caution flag is out.
I think we got it. That's ours.
There were 5 wrecks before the wreck.
My good, I could not believe those guys waited. I thought they wrecked coming out of 4.
Yeah, you can see Carl Edwards has the advantage right here.
But right there, the 18 does. Where's the scoring loop when the caution comes out? The 18's in front right there.
Right.
So where's the loop?
It's still green.
Yeah, I understand it's still green, but
it's not the scoring loop.
It's the video.
When it's for the finish of
It's
the
for the
race,
videotape.
it's the video.
That's
You're
right.
seeing right there. If the caution's out, it doesn't
it's not
matter
out
about
yet.
the
It's not
scoring
out
lap.
yet. It's not out yet. There it is.
All right, they get in front.
There it is. Yeah.
The 18 would be the winner.
The winner of the Coke 0400 is Kyle Busch.
There's a crash on the racetrack.
On the backstretch. Big problems going down towards turn number 3. A lot of cars involved. Rudiman is in that. Gilliland is in there. Boyer. You see the 43 of Sorensen, the 83 of Vickers. There's Rudiman. Dale Jr. caught up in it as well. Smoke just pouring out of the 88.
And this is, you know, we talk about this racetrack all the time. The big accidents at Daytona happen almost always in the middle of the backstretch. Guys jockeying for position, inside, outside, and you just don't clear somebody or you clip somebody and you force somebody into a wall, and then it's a chain reaction because you got no place to go and you can't see. I'm not even sure where this one starts. You see the 12 car.
Wow.
He gets tapped. He gets into the back. It's like Casey gets in the back of him.
Yeah, and that's what happens with these cars sometimes. If you're not dead straight when you're hitting the guy in front of you bump drafting, you're going to turn them straight into the wall.
And you saw the 00 turn to the outside. Well, obviously he got hit in the back and turned the opposite way by somebody. Now look at that.
He's shoving to the bottom.
Oh my goodness, he just wanted to touch him, man. Just wanted to touch him.
Can't get him to the high side. Here he comes.
There he turns him. He turns him.
Busch in the wall.
Oh my God.
Here comes Stewart to the checkered
Tony
flag.
Stewart.
And another car gets in the backside. It's Casey Kane. And they're scattering everywhere as they come to the line.
Some of these guys hit hard, man.
And one of them was Kyle Busch.
They're still hitting hard.
Trying to bump you. Stay on this yellow line. Chase them. Coming up high. There you go.
Pick the rear tires off the ground. Now watch this next hit.
Oh, man.
Wow. That's a 180-mile-per-hour shot right there.
Man, that was brutal. For Tony Stewart, his 36th win in his 374th start. Oh, man, there goes our camera.
And we lost another camera.
I'm telling you. Oh, hang on, Jeff Burton.
Burton up into Hornish.
He's going to come back up
And now the big one.
There it is.
7, 8, 9 cars involved, many which were running inside the top 10.
That's the whole field, isn't it?
That's the whole field. And
look at that. Nowhere to go.
And these guys were trying to avoid the 2 coming back up on the racetrack, and the first group that saw them check up, and everybody runs in behind them. That is massive right there. That's incredible. I don't think I've seen a wreck like that at Daytona.
That's a long time since I've seen that many cars
There
in a
was
wreck.
a Busch race or a nationwide race down here in turns 3 and 4, and they piled up about 30 of them down there one time.
He just goes diving down here after he gets clobbered by the 31. On the 83, okay, this started already behind, but the 83 got turned.
But they see that going on in front of them, and they're all jockeying for position to avoid that. And it's that chain reaction accident. You know what I mean? Look at the cars, man.
There's a lot of cars in that accident.
You see the 12, you see the 42, you see these guys.
And there's just nowhere to go. There's no openings on the racetrack whatsoever.
Nowhere to go. And you can't imagine sitting at home driving into that at 170 or 80 miles an hour, getting up to speed, but driving into that and not being able to know left or right. And the spotters are way over here.
Got turned by Joey Logano on that one.
Look at him.
Big crash. 7 cars involved, and it all got started when
and Logano got Mark Martin.
Truex is in it. Mark Martin's in it. See the
Stewart's in it.
33.
Sorry, guys. Like Castle's in it.
Wow.
Ran out of room.
Regan Smith got a piece. See Travis Kvapil climbing in. David Rudiman.
Yeah, I'm not. You know, when you look at that, Mark's there, and Logano's there. I don't know where Mark was going. Yeah, to be honest with you, you know what I mean? I mean, Joey couldn't really go anywhere. They all were trying to get to the same place on the racetrack for whatever reason. I don't know why Mark tried to jump off the back of the group he was
Regan,
in.
a half a lap away from his first victory.
It's now time, isn't it, for the 20?
It's time for the 20 to do something, or...
One back there by 10.
I tell you,
the Regan behind him.
David Regan.
Behind the race leader.
David Regan.
No caution yet. David Regan coming
Still
back
wrecking.
to the start-finish line.
They're wrecking again.
Everywhere now.
They're wrecking again.
Regan with sweet redemption gets the victory at Daytona.
2 separate wrecks on the last lap.
Great job. Thank you a lot, Matt.
Oh, man, these guys are flying by Newman.
He was a sitting duck. Talked about on the final lap.
Yeah, and it's hard to really say. You see the 9 car get turned, the 9 to 51 and the 00. It's hard to say right there because they're just in the corner of the screen. But in front of these guys, they're wrecking on around the corner here.
All this happened
you see
over
right here.
in turn 3.
It looks like somebody got. It looks like Castle just slid up the racetrack and got into the left rear of Ambrose.
Yeah, and
he may have got shoved up. You know, by that angle, it's hard to see, but
it is hard.
They're coming to the tri-oval. A number of cars involved. Still spinning. Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon on the grass, Regan Smith, Michael Waltrip back up through the groove, and there's Bill Elliott as well.
Yeah, and Jeff Gordon and those guys were up in the 4th, 5th, and 6th positions. So this thing, obviously, it may have started back a little bit, but it carried its way all the way to the front. And the light comes on.
Watch how hard Jimmy Johnson hits this inside wall. I'm telling you what, those soft walls or whatever you want to call them, those things are incredible.
And we've not always had safer barrier on the inside.
I've hit walls on the inside when they weren't there. I'll tell you what, it's a shot.
Watch his tires. Wow,
when it picks up the rear wheels off the ground, that's a hit.
Denny Hamlin out of shape. Here's the big one. A number of drivers involved as they come down toward turn 1.
Hold your brake.
Oh, wow, that was a ton.
This is big.
Man, was that Ambrose? Somebody hit a ton up there.
That was big. Biffle got hit a little bit and got sent back across the racetrack into the 11 car, I think is what we'll see.
Don't change direction very good. I think he went to turn to the left. It almost looked like Biffle maybe went down a little bit, but regardless, when you turn these cars as hard like that to avoid something, it's hard to keep them straight.
Yeah, it almost looked like I couldn't tell where the 5 car was, but it's like Denny came down across the hood, and the 11 and the 18 really looked like they got together more so than the 5 car involved. That 9 car took a tough hit, and all these guys had no place to go because they're going. Some cars are going up the racetrack wrecking, some cars are coming down. Look at Denny right there. He changes lanes, and he just barely clips the 18 and gets knocked into the 16. It almost looks like it's almost like a pinball. This is going to be.
They're stacking up. They're stacking up.
Through turns 3 and 4
here we go.
the final time. Big crash behind the race leader, Tony Stewart. That's going to allow smoke to pull away. What's going to happen behind him? Can Burton get there? No, he can't. Tony Stewart wins it at Daytona. Coming to the checker flag, and they're everywhere, scattering in the tri-oval behind
I tell
them.
you, Harvick did a good job too, because Earnhardt was in the back of Harvick, actually turned Harvick down on the apron and just about had it saved.
Yes. Earnhardt took a hard lick to the outside wall. He got turned to the outside. You see him right in the middle of the race.
So did
back
Harvick.
into the outside again.
Yeah, Harvick took a shot too. See the 29 go down?
Yes.
And then the 16 gets hit by the 17 and gets into Harvick.
Wow. It just
Was
closes up.
Was that Newman on the bottom? No, that was
Eric
Almirola. He was just driving along, thought he had it.
Crash on the track.
Just
Jimmy
talking about
Hamlin got
Danny
airborne. A.J. Allmendinger, Jeff Gordon, David Rudiman, Matt Kenseth all involved.
You see Denny down on the inside right there. That thing just turns right.
Yeah.
It's like
that was
something
strange.
That was really strange.
Wow.
Kenseth did a great job not running into the door of the 11, but then the 51, you know, just nowhere to go.
But, you know, for Hamlin, he goes nose first into the wall. Very similar to how he hit the wall in California when he suffered that compression fracture.
Yeah, but,
but a different angle.
But watch this right here. Here he is. The two cars, there's spacing behind him. The two cars behind him. He goes there. Wow. I don't know if the two car got into the back of him and sent him to the inside and he overcorrected.
You know, it almost looked like Kyle, the car in front of him slowed down.
Good point.
And he turned to the left, and that's when it spun him around.
But then, and then obviously everybody's trying to avoid.
33 cars been pushed out front. Coming off of turn 4, when we get to the start-finish line, we will complete lap 20 today.
Rickon behind you here, Rickon.
And now we have a crash. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. involved. Tony Stewart around. And that's Dale Earnhardt Jr. through the infield grass. Carl Edwards has some damage.
Kenseth just about had it missed, and looks like he ran into the 88.
Harvick,
wow,
Johnson,
a lot of good
Kyle
race
Larson.
cars. I mean, a lot of good race cars. Guys in the points.
Wow. Wall sideways, comes down across Tap Stewart. Oh.
Yeah, no, Jeff was trying to avoid this 17 car and got into Tony Stewart.
Yeah, got in the right rear of Tony. Yeah.
Trevor Bayne, who won the 2011 Daytona 500, driving for the Wood Brothers, and that 21 car got turned around. And Danica may have gotten a little bit of nose damage, but she did a heck of a job getting through and not getting caught up.
And watch Tony here. He didn't move much, man. He just hung right. He didn't move at all.
No.
And then he got hooked in the right rear into Stewart, into Ricky Stenhouse, but. Tony was doing what he needed to do right there. He would have gotten by that without any problem if he wouldn't have gotten tagged by Jeff.
Yeah, Tony. It didn't appear that Tony ever turned the steering wheel, and as he got loose, he came over, but he never even tapped Tony. It was the 24 car of Jeff Gordon thinking something was going to happen, and going ahead and anticipating the move and getting into the right rear quarter panel of Tony.
Hanging tough here on the restart.
Oh, here we go.
Got trouble. That's Casey Kane. It goes sideways. Joey Logano nowhere to go.
Oh, my.
Clint
Half
Bowyer
the field
through
is
the grass. The big one at Daytona has happened at lap 97.
That is the huge one at Daytona.
Justin Allgaier.
Oh, and the 18 gets on its roof.
And Kyle Busch rolls upside down.
Wow.
Looks like the 16 got into the 5 a little bit too hard and just turned him. And man, talk about getting piled up.
Watch the 3 car when we get another replay of Austin Dillon come shooting up through the middle and trying to avoid the accident.
26 of Cole Witt just got into the 18 to turn him over.
And watch Danica in this outside line right here. She and the 2 car of Brad Keselowski. Wow, that 1 car's up in the air right there.
All 4 tires were off the ground.
He just launched.
Junior to the bottom of the track. Junior will win at Daytona. And the big one happens behind them.
Oh, my God.
You can see him on the bottom. Rex starts in front. He runs in the back of the 24. Gets up on the 11. Now he's on top of the 55. And now it's just along for the ride. Watch the car stop. Watch the car stop. It gets into those poles, and it goes from, I don't know what, 180, 190 miles an hour, I'm just guessing, to a complete stop. That is unbelievable.
And it looks like that's 3,500 pounds. That stock car is extremely heavy. You see here, after he's upside down, the 2 is spinning. Obviously, he's already lost control, makes more contact with the 3.
We've got trouble behind him, Rick. Around they go.
Yeah, stay down, go up.
It looked like it was Eric Almirola that was the first to go sideways and then collecting numerous cars behind him.
Murray actually comes down and gets onto the left front. It's on from there. I mean, we talked about it earlier. As soon as somebody makes a mistake and you're in this big pack of cars, you're going to take a lot of people with you. It's just how it happens. Some of these cars riding around the back actually got in the wreck as well. So
Bump there by the 48. The back bumper of Jamie McMurray. 78 of Martin Truex Jr. caught up. Danica Patrick also. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 88. Brian Scott up on the hood of the 4 of Kevin Harvick. Chris Buescher, 23-year-old out of Prosper, Texas, was involved.
We're on board with Jamie McMurray. You see him just solid wheel, that small movement. He just couldn't save it. Hard impact, and look at the multiple impacts. Another shot, another shot. 3 big hits for Jamie McMurray.
And the big one happens at Daytona. Kyle Busch goes around in front of 3 or 4 other cars, collecting them, and the caution comes out again.
We are closing into the end of this stage, just inside 10 to go. The momentum was kind of building. Everybody was trying to work their way to the front. You see Martin Truex Jr. leaving the scene. Heavy, heavy damage on the 78. Though 18 was the first car around for sure, Rick.
Austin Dillon caught up in it. He can't even see over the hood. It has collapsed up to the windshield.
Follow along Kyle Busch. Little wiggle right there. I think he had a problem. That thing just turned around on him right in front of the field. So look at all the big impacts, all the smoke. I didn't see any contact before he went around. I saw him wiggle, and then the car turned around sideways.
Well, in front of the field was the key. This is the fear when it comes to Daytona. The accident in the middle of the pack. You have to be committed. You have to be wide open. Look how fast that happened. Joey Logano, a hard impact into Kyle Busch. You see the 42 of Kyle Larson, the 78 of Martin Truex Jr.
He was
many cars
falling back just a bit in that inside line. The 17 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Look at the hands on AJ Allmendinger. Up in the air goes the 42 of Kyle Larson. Caution comes out. And another contact. Matt Kenseth hits. The 1 of Jamie McMurray flying down pit road.
How did he get back on the ground without flipping?
See right here, he gets down low. The 17 of Ricky Stenhouse tries to fill the upper lane. The 42 tries to block. And as you said, the 42 was destined to go airborne. The roof flaps deployed, setting the 42 back on the ground. And as that happened, the 41 of Kurt Busch crossed the tri-oval, took a hard hit. This is another great action shot right here. Watch this 42. Hits the wall, then gets pushed into the air by the 17. You see the roof flap open. The car sets back on the ground.
21 of Blaney, he's in the brakes, just nothing you can do. Remember, Matt Kenseth, Casey Kane had got shuffled back. They got behind this wreck. Matt Kenseth did not get through it. Casey Kane did.
How about riding right in the middle now? Just waiting for whichever line. Huge push. And around goes a 2. Too big of a push. He caught the 41.
The big one.
Logano's caught up in it.
Oh, my goodness.
Denny Hamlin. Austin Dillon has damage. Daniel Suarez trying to avoid. Ty Dillon sliding in.
Because he was going to run to the back of the 24, because you see the 24 blocking here. So Brad's probably throttling down a little bit. And, Stenhouse coming across the nose.
Yeah, so right here, the 17. Watch the 17 when he gets into the rear bumper. Right there. Hits him in the right rear, and that's what sends him. We talked about that earlier. That's where you want to bump draft somebody. You want to bump them in the right rear. But when you do that, and the speed's wrong, and it's misaligned, and also he's turning left, then that literally just shoves the left rear bumper to the inside of the car, and it shoots the nose straight.
Get the white flag. The next flag will call it the 14 around. Boyer into the wall. The caution comes out just before they get to the start-finish line.
Some big impacts.
Bain caught up, as is Bubba Wallace. Brendan Gaughan also in this. The 48 of Jimmy Johnson, Trevor Bain.
A little tire rub there, but he's shoving and he just turns, pushing so hard. And Clinton's moving around on the front bumper. And it hooked him into the wall. That's just real aggressive butt drafting. Here's from the 43 roof camp. He just turned him sideways there, hooked him bad. That's just really aggressive pushing. Really aggressive bump drafting, which is what's going to happen at the end of these races.